Hey everybody, this is Chris, MTGO's RexDart, and this is Game 3 of my semifinal match against Duranoth, and I'll tell you up front that this one on my part is painful to go back and watch, but you have to go back and watch these matches and see where you went wrong if you're going to get any better, especially when I'm in a new format here with Classic, and there are some strategical errors that I make. One you might say tactical, one you might say strategical, but the long and short of it is I'm going to lose this game after getting him down to 1 life, but there are ways that I probably could have won this game, and it's just literally painful to go back and look at, especially thinking the level of prizes that I lost out on by making these mistakes. But anyways, I land a turn 1 Noble Hierarch off of a tropical island, and Duranoth is going to strip it. I decided to play the Wasteland out there. See if I make him blow something on that. Okay, he runs out the forest, so he plays around the Wasteland. And that Ulvenwald tracker, I knew obviously from the previous games that thing can completely take over the game. But I mean, he had a lot of these really cool synergies with untapping creatures, with the I don't know what it is, the Quirion Ranger, one of those elves. The capability to completely own the board with Knight of the Reliquary and Ulvenwald tracker, and it made me really wish that I'd kept the Linvala in the sideboard to try to wreck with some of these tap effects. Of course, I have too many of my own, I'm vulnerable to run like something like Curse Totem, for instance. Alright, so he Stoneforges for Batterskull, and here's where I lose the game. Hat tip to the guys at the who are streaming this on the coverage on Twitch. I went back after the event to watch the replay and to watch their coverage of it, and they suggested a line of play here that I should have wasted the cavern and strip mined the forest. And at that point, I am so ahead on board because I have a Tarmogoyf, a Knight of the Reliquary, a Noble Hierarch. He has a Stoneforge Mystic and Stone Cold nothing at that point. A Batterskull in his hand that he is in no position to be able to put into play. Okay? Instead, what I did here, and I blame it on a couple of things. What I did here was I ran out the Tarmogoyf, which I would have done either line, and then I sacked this forest for a fetch and then a tropical island, and then V-clicked his Batterskull out of his hand. And I think that part of the reason I misplayed this is that coming from Legacy, I'm just not quite used to remembering that I have that dang strip mine to get, even though there's one staring me in the face right here. You get that Legacy mindset where these basic lands start to look like they have a little protective shield around them, and you don't always remember the ability to blow them up with a strip mine. And so being a little new to Classic, I think that may have been part of the problem. Also, I think I was trying to be too cute. I thought, oh, well, he just put that Batterskull into his hand. Well, I'll just V-click it right out of there and blank that Stoneforge Mystic. But as it's going to turn out, that was just terrible. I mean, there's no reason for me to be doing that line of play. And so I get rid of that Batterskull, but this is going to allow him to get back in the game. Now I still have a lot of pressure here, but from this position, if I had stripped the forest and wasted the Cavern of Souls, I just should have won this game. I don't know how the heck he gets back into the game from that point. Now he can Swords to Plowshare as one of my threats, but I could still run the V-click out the following turn. I still have overwhelming pressure. And as you're going to see here, I'm going to get him down to 1. and be unable to finish it, which also recalls the first play. You might recall that I left a Noble Hierarch untapped and did not swing in with her on the turn after he wasted my first play. He strip mined my basic forest. I could have just attacked with the Noble Hierarch there and got an extra point of damage, but as you may recall, I was holding his Swords to Plowshares, and I wanted to be able to use that on his turn to maximize my mana on my own turn. However, if I had attacked in there, I could have gotten the one extra damage that would have finished him off. And he makes a mistake here too that almost costs him the game by forgetting that he'd already made his land drop. He's doing this return the forest to your hand thing, and then he couldn't actually replay it because he had played it for the turn. All right, so I draw Swords to Plowshares there. He's going to chump. I've got him down to 7. And now he's able to get a Knight of the Reliquary out there by using getting the forest like that. So I have Swords his Knight there. And I'm coming back in. I've got him back down to 6. Now he has another Knight. And I ripped that Noble Hierarch that's going to let me attack him all the way down to 1 with this. But from this position, he is going to have another Knight of the Reliquary and take back over the game. And I won't need to show you all of it, but you will see clearly that there is a tipping point here where these Knights are going to get him back in the game. He is going to have removal for the Vendilion click. And now his Knights outclass anything that I have. Now I did bring in Tormod's Crypts, I think, for the Selkies. In Game 2, I hadn't done that because I was worried about keeping my blue count for Force. But in Game 3, I did bring in the Tormod's Crypts just because I thought they're better than the Selkie, which is never going to do anything in this matchup. But I really should have done that Game 2. All right, and at this point, it's over. I've got nothing here that's going to be able to compete with his Knights, and I am going to like chump and fight it out for a while. But I've got nothing to close this game out, and since this replay is already running long, I don't need to show you the end of it. You can see the whole thing on the Twitch stream. But basically, I lost the game there, making the complete wrong line of play with that Knight of the Reliquary, and it may have cost me, since I think I had a favorable matchup in the finals, it may have cost me, $200 and something, and that's embarrassing, although not the worst loss I've ever had, since I lost an election that cost me a 6-figure job once. So there are worse things to happen than losing a game of Magic, and I was glad to make it to the top 4 against really the best of the best players here in this format, and so I had a good run, and shot myself in the foot there at the end, but we all make misplays, and the important thing was going back at it, seeing where I screwed up, seeing where I had the advantage and missed the chance to press it. So anyways, thank you for joining me for my video replays from Classic Quarter Invitational, and I will see you in the next episode of Eternal Warrior.